Dr. Z, you're an entrepreneur, right?
Absolutely.
Josh, you're an entrepreneur, right?
Yes, sir.
I got to ask you guys, if somebody said to you, Dr. Z, hey, if I put in exactly $57,000 into buying a Dr. Robert Zellner optometry clinic,
Okay.
when will I make my money back? What would you say to him?
Soon and very soon.
Josh, if you said, hey, I'm going to put $57,000 into a living water irrigation, when would I make my money back?
How hard do you want to work?
This is interesting because a lot of people ask, OxyFresh, hey, they call them and say, hey, I want to buy a franchise, but when will I make my money back? What's my return on investment? And on today's show, Matt Klein, the franchise brand developer with OxyFresh, shares with you realistic expectations about when you can expect to make some compensation when you buy an OxyFresh franchise anywhere across this great nation. So you see that I rhymed 3 times.
That's impressive.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrivetime Show.
3, 2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here.
Yes, and yes. Thrive Nation, on today's show, we have an incredible guest by the name of Mr. Matt Klein, who is the brand developer for OxyFresh carpet cleaning systems and franchising. Should you be interested in buying a franchise, and specifically an OxyFresh franchise, and you pick up the phone or you go to the website oxyfresh.com, you fill out the form because you want to escape from the norm of businesses that fail, and you want to purchase a business that does well, at least historically, then the guy who's going to respond to you is either M or M. You got Mike or Matt. And on today's show, we've got Plan B. We couldn't get Mike. We've got Plan B. Matt Klein, welcome onto the show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I want to know. How excited are you to be Plan B?
Well, it's better than Plan A, I guess, depending on who you are.
Well, Mike, it's always our Plan A, and I appreciate it. I'm always our Plan B. You're Plan B guest, and I'm the Plan B host, so the whole thing works out great. The B team here.
Yeah, there's a lot of room for Plan Bs in the world, so we're here.
Okay, now I want to ask you this on behalf of Team B. There's a lot of people out there that aren't Elon Musk. Wow. Mm-hmm. A lot of people that aren't Elon Musk. Josh, I don't know if you're aware of this, but a lot of people aren't like Steve Jobs level where they're like genius next level.
Not a lot of those folks.
Then there's not a lot of people that, are Einsteins.
Not a lot of those folks.
Maybe there's more people that work at Einstein's Bagels than Einstein's. But there's not a whole lot of people that are Richard Branson level, not a whole lot of Bill Gates, not a whole lot of... And as a dude, sometimes you look up and you go, why am I not Bill Gates or Steve? Because it can be easy to kind of go, what am I going to do? How am I going to provide for my family? I'm good at some things, but how am I going to make my mark on the planet? How am I going to achieve time freedom? And I think that's a great place where franchises show up as a good option. Wouldn't you agree, Matt? I mean, if you're somebody who's a diligent person, but you can't do 360 dunks on the NBA court, or you're not a super skilled musician, or you're not a genius, isn't a franchise a great way to minimize your risk?
Certainly, yeah. Give you an opportunity for some, income potential that you may not have in a normal job. Give yourself some time freedom. Give yourself the ability to become an owner of a business, separate an employee, without all the risk of going out on your own and having some support there with an already proven model. Certainly a less risky option for owning a business, certainly with the franchise world.
In the franchising world, I think the statistics show consistently, no matter what studies you look at, that 9 out of 10 small businesses by default fail, but in franchising, only 1 out of 10 fail. I mean, it's like a reverse of the average. I mean, so they're much more of a safe investment, although no investment is guaranteed. And now Josh will begin to interrogate Matt about this idea of buying an OxyFresh or buying any franchise. The question I'm sure you get asked probably every day, it's when will I make my money back? Do you ever get that question asked to you, Matt? Do people ever say, hey, buddy, that's great, but when am I going to make my money back?
Yeah, I get that question a lot. Return on investment's a big question. So those are all very valid questions that are asked to me. I always tell people the situations in which you're in and how you run your business will also dictate that. But we can actually get down to some pretty easy kind of answers to some of these questions because we do know what our average job ticket is. Typically, we do know what one employee can accomplish in a given month in terms of capacity of sales. So we can kind of work back on some of those. The things I can't do is talk specific numbers outside the FTD, but we can certainly kind of build.
Wait, Mr. Political Correct. Wait a second. Now, because you're throwing out jargon, you're saying FDD, you're saying I can't make a guarantee. What's the FDD and why can't you make a guarantee? It sounds like political spin to me.
Sure. So the franchise disclosure document, every franchise in the country has to have them. They're audited by the states and approved by the states for that individual franchise, and it shows numbers and it shows the investment level. It's basically everything laid out in that. Ours is like 225 pages. Financial performance. It has things in there. The investment, what comes with your investment, rules and regulations. It lays out everything there, so we have a realistic approach to looking at the business, and it goes over everything. So the FDD, we are regulated, so we can't talk numbers outside the FDD. Because those are not audited by the state.
When you say you can't make statements outside of the FDD, I think Josh might want to know. I think a lot of listeners want to know who haven't obsessed about franchising disclosure documents like I have. And Josh, you can one-up me here. But what kinds of things can you disclose? I mean, can you go, well, technically, I can say our name is OxyFresh.
Sure.
I mean, what can you say or what can you not say?
Yeah, we can talk about the business itself. Right, we talk about our marketing programs that we utilize. What I can't do is give you projections. Like I can't say you are going to make this amount of money because there's too many variables there. So projections, they do not allow us to tell you projections. We can talk the numbers in the franchise agreement. For instance, like I can tell you that our average ticket residentially is going to be somewhere between 165 and 185. That's an audited number, right? Per job. So then we can work off something like that. We know that, for the average employee with OxyFresh working a full schedule, they can do around, $13,000 to $15,000 a month in sales if they're at a full schedule. But there's factors in there, right? So if that person works 5 days a week, but they only work 12 to 5, they're not going to be able to reach that number. So we just kind of work through the program, see how you're going to run the business. If someone's going to run it semi-absentee, we need to actually dive into that. How much time are you going to do it? Are you going to be doing the jobs? You're going to have an employee doing the jobs, right? So there's all sorts of different scenarios we want to talk through to basically build a case whether the business would be a good fit for somebody or not, and not one person's going to be the same.
Paint him into a corner. Make him just Josh, go for it.
Awesome. Hey, Matt, so the question I would have, because I've honestly never read a FDD in my life. So
I
can you
send
just
you one if you want to?
I think I would rather read a different book, but to appease you, send it to me and I'll highlight and take a bunch of notes. So can you discuss historical data then? In that you're saying obviously you have a bunch of rules and regulations you have to adhere to, but can you tell me this location historically has done this? If somebody's wanting to really dive into it and kind of get a good grasp, can you just discuss historical data off of locations?
If you did a audit of your franchise disclosure document that went into every single location, then yes, you could do that. For us, we do sales, we do brackets, so we do we do high performing, mid performing, low performing, right? And so we wouldn't do the individual franchisee. We would do more of a broad scope of the franchisees in our system that get into a certain category of sales amounts.
If somebody's a low performer, do you refer to them as the anchor?
We do not, at least not legally in the FDD.
What do you
Yeah.
refer to the high performer as?
The high performers would be people that have multiple franchise or multiple technicians in the system. They have typically multiple territories over time. So. And low performers, by the way, it just means the number. They're in the lower quartile of performance.
No, you just tell yourself that. You tell yourself that. This is what you are. You know what you are? You're pulling a kid aside, Bob. You're going, Bobby, here's the deal. You're not going to be playing on this game and on this team. You're not going to be at the end of the bench over there, Bobby. That's a vital role. Okay, that's what we would call the Jack Haley position. Now, he was a towel waver for the Spurs. He cheered on Dennis Rodman, who encouraged the team, and that's what you're going to do. So you get on the end of that bench, and you understand that the bench would flip over, Bobby, if you weren't at the end of it, because there's other people at the other end of the bench. Bobby, there are people who could be getting splinters in their derriere if you weren't on that, checking it every moment of every game. Bobby, I want you to get back on that bench and cheer, because you, my friend, are the 12th man. That's what you just did, Matt. You're giving us political spin. You're not answering the questions. I have another question, and then Josh wants to one-up me here. So let's talk about return on investment. People ask you directly all the time, what kind of return on investment can I expect? I'm putting in $57,000 approximately into buying an OxyFresh. I've read the franchise disclosure document. I've looked at the high, the mid, the low. I've heard your political spin about kids who are bench warmers and telling them that they're not anchors. I get it, but I'm asking you, do people ever ask you about the return on investment, and what can you say or not say about that?
Yeah, the return on investment's a big question that I get. And I think over the time, I feel like people's understanding of return on investment can be a lot different. Right. Some people will say, what's my return on investment? When am I going to make my money back? Some people are going to say, when am I going to reach a certain type of paying my investment back, or how am I going to make money? So we just kind of talk through that. So I don't know a lot of what that individual situation is going to be. So return on investment is very situational, right? We can talk about when you get an employee, for instance, to about half a schedule, which is 35 jobs, you should be doing somewhere between $6,000 and $7,000 in sales. Now, how you run your business will dictate what your return on investment is. At that point, you might be bringing more money in than which is going out. But if you buy a $70,000 truck,
come on now,
it costs you $1,000 a month. Then that may take you a little longer, right? So we talk a little bit about that.
So let me ask you this, Matt. So you mentioned low, mid, and high. So I just want to understand this. So you're telling me that if I spend $57,000 and I get an OxyFresh franchise, are you telling me that I can't just stay at home and play Madden? Are you telling me that I still have to get up and go to work? So are you saying that I can't just use other people's money and buy a franchise and then I'm a millionaire overnight? Are you telling me I still have to work? I just want to know if you can disclose that.
He's not saying that you can't just use other people's money and Ty Lopez your way to success. That's not what he's saying. Matt, is that what you're saying?
So there's low, mid, and high.
I'm telling you, you absolutely can go do that, but you probably will not be in the top portion of our performers there. But it's also to be noted, there are very good franchisees that are in that lower level. And what they are is they're owner-operators that bought that business to be an owner-operator that didn't want employees. And maybe we're not structured now to really have that as our main type of franchisee, because most people want to grow. But if you have an owner-operator business, they can only do so many jobs because they are doing them, right? If you get to the full capacity of one person, that's what you bought the business for, I would say you're successful because you did what you wanted to do. But in the grand scheme of OxyFresh, we can get a lot more out of an individual territory than just an owner-operator. So we'll, again, talking through the situation of that individual, what they're trying to accomplish, then we can kind of work our way back and figure out what's going to be the best situation for that individual franchisee. Sitting on the couch and playing Madden, probably not the best, but it doesn't mean you have to throw your Xbox away.
So was that a real political way of saying, yes, I would have to work to be successful?
Yes.
I feel like what Matt, I want to make sure that Matt understands what America thinks he just said. And by the way, one of Matt's franchisee leads, his newest lead, we can't confirm or deny it. Well, we think the lead is by the name of Clinton.
Some people have said.
And Matt's been spending a lot of time with him. So now when you ask Matt direct questions, this is the motivational tape series that Matt, did you get this tape series from Clinton? Was it like because you have Zig Ziglar, you have a lot of Zig Ziglar. There might be Napoleon Hill. There could be Dale Carnegie. Did you order the whole box set of the Clinton, motivational tape sales tapes? Are you listening to those right now currently, or is that just hyperbole?
I've never stopped listening to them.
Well, let me cue up just a little audio. I'm able to tap into your earbuds using some Bluetooth technology. Let me cue in here real quick here. A lot of people in your office today.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
This is Matt's motivational audio today. There we go.
Thank you, Terry Riley, for the Community Learning Centers. I
I'm very proud of what we've done there. Now, I have to go back to work on my State of the Union speech. And I worked on it till pretty late last night.
So you're not going to tell us when we're going to make our return on investment?
But I want to say one thing to the American people.
So you're not going to tell us when we're going to make a return on investment?
I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody it's a lie. No.
Okay, I just was curious if that was. I think it's a different audio. I think it's a different audio series that I've been. I think it's a different one. You're listening to a different one, but wow, I mean that you've really learned. You're like the human dodgeball of questions on today's show. You know what I mean? It's like, but seriously, if you're out there. If you're wanting to buy a franchise, I'm being serious though. When you look into buying any kind of franchise at all, they can only state what's in the franchise disclosure document, which is why a discovery day is so important. Get to Colorado, go to Denver, see the system, see the processes, hop on the phone call, and you allow potential franchisees to call current franchisees, right?
Yeah, that's a good lead, and that's what I was going to talk about next was you want to look at the FDD, you want to get all the information, you want to go through the validation process, and you want to talk to franchisees that are like-minded, maybe regional, or that are going to run the business the same way that you are, and talk to several of them. Get a really good gauge on what maybe they struggled with in the beginning, and that could be different than the other franchisees you speak to. So, yes, that validation process is very important. It happens almost every time. And you want to use that in tandem with all the other things that we're going to go through.
And let me tell you how that call is going to sound. Boop, 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 boop. This is Matt's mom. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm looking for that reference. I'm trying to reach someone about a franchise and to see if you would actually buy one. Yeah, let me get somebody else. This is not Matt's mom. What? No, but they're real people, right? You can't make the numbers up, right?
No, and the franchisees, in the back of every FDD lists all the franchisees.
Okay, so you disclose all that. Okay, I was going to make sure because a lot of people are worried that they're going to call and you'll give them your own phone number. Yeah, just call my phone number. I share it with several franchisees. This is not Matt. No. So you actually give out real franchisees' phone numbers.
Yep, real franchisees. Okay. I mean, because we can't give projections, it's another way to basically build the case and have other conversations. It'll also, for us at least, show you the different varieties of ownership, potentially. So, you just want to do your due diligence with whatever you're looking to do, and we'll kind of go down that road together if it's OxyFresh.
I've got this is a witness. This is like an audio of a potential franchisee calling a OxyFresh franchisee. The name was redacted, so Matt just took a Sharpie, marked off the name, and said, "Go ahead and call. This is a viable resource." Let me cue it up. Here. This is
some of these cases really need to be looked at.
I'm going. Wow. Well, I'm in. Let me cue it up again. This is the audio of a Matt. Matt said, "Call this person, bona fide, verify we're the real deal. Call this number, and this is what you're going to get."
Some of these cases really need to be looked at.
And it doesn't matter what you ask. That's what you're going to get.
It's just the same answer every time.
I'm interested in learning about the profitability of your location. Tell me its specifics, please.
Some of these cases really need to be looked at.
Okay, thank you. So anyway, but in all sincerity, you will talk to a real franchisee. Matt Klein, I appreciate you so much. If you're out there looking to buy an OxyFresh franchisee, looking to invest in an OxyFresh franchise, or more importantly, looking to become the owner of your own business, what better way to say I love you than with a gift of an OxyFresh? So call them today or visit them online at www.oxyfresh.com. That's www.oxyfresh.com. Or you can learn more by going to thrivetimeshow.com/OxyFresh. That's thrivetimeshow.com/OxyFresh. My name's Clay Clark. That's Matt Klein. And Matt, thank you for always looking fresh.
Hey, thank you for having me.
And thanks for sharing your Clinton motivational audio series with us. I'll be listening to that later.
Of course.
All right, take care, man. And now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom!
Hello, my name is Charles Colaw with Colaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Crockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours, where he does these tours all across the country, where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building it into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy. Elon Musk, kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant, and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down, because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns, because our clubs were all closed for 3 months, and you have $350,000 of bills you've got to pay, and we have no accounts receivable. He helped us navigate that, and of course we were conservative enough that we could afford to take that on for a period of time. But it was, anyways, great man. I'm very impressed with him. So Clay, thank you for everything you're doing, and I encourage you, if you haven't ever worked with Clay, work with Clay. He's going to help magnify you, and there's nobody I have ever met that has the ability to work as hard as he does. He probably sleeps 4, maybe 6 hours a day, and literally the rest of the time he's working, and he can outwork everybody in the room every single day, and he loves it. So anyways, this is Charles Colaw with Colaw Fitness. Thank you, Clay, and anybody out there that's wanting to work with Clay, it's a great opportunity to ever work with him. So you guys have a blessed one. This is Charles Colaw. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Aaron Antis with Shaw Homes. I first heard about Clay through a mortgage lender here in town who had told me what a great job he had been doing for them, and I actually noticed he was driving a Lamborghini all of a sudden, so I was willing to listen. In my career, I've sold a little over $800 million in real estate. So honestly, I thought I kind of knew everything about marketing and homes. And then I met Clay, and my perception of what I knew and what I could do definitely changed. After doing $800 million in sales over a 15-year career, I really thought I knew what I was doing. I've been managing a large team of salespeople for the last 10 years here with Shaw Homes. And I mean, we've been a company that's been in business for 35 years. We've become one of the largest builders in the Tulsa area, and that was without Clay. So when I came to know Clay, I really thought, man, there's not much more I need to know, but I'm willing to listen. The interesting thing is our internet leads from our website has actually, in a 4-month period of time, has gone from somewhere around 10 to 15 leads in a month to 180 internet leads in a month. Just from the few things that he's shown us how to implement that I honestly probably never would have come up with on my own. So I got a lot of good things to say about the system that Clay put in place with us, and it's just been an incredible experience. I am very glad that we met and had the opportunity to work with Clay. So the interaction with the team and with Clay on a weekly basis is honestly very enlightening. One of the things that I love about Clay's perspective on things is that he doesn't come from my industry. He's not somebody who's in the home building industry. I've listened to all the experts in my field. Our company has paid for me to go to seminars, international builder shows, all kinds of places where I've had the opportunity to learn from the experts in my industry. But the thing that I found working with Clay is that he comes from such a broad spectrum of working with so many different types of businesses that he has a perspective that's difficult for me to gain because I get so entrenched in what I do, I'm not paying attention to what other leading industry experts are doing. And Clay really brings that perspective for me. It is very valuable time every week when I get that hour with him. From my perspective, the reason that any business owner who's thinking about hooking up with Thrive needs to definitely consider it is because the results that we've gotten in a very short period of time are honestly monumental. It has really exceeded my wildest expectation of what he might be able to do. I came in skeptical because I'm very pragmatic, and as I've gone through the process over just a few months, I've realized it's probably one of the best moves we've ever made. I think a lot of people probably feel like they don't need a business or marketing consultant because they maybe are a little bit prideful and like to think they know everything. I know that's how I felt coming in. I mean, we're a big company that's definitely one of the largest in town. And so we kind of felt like we knew what we were doing. And I think for a lot of people, they let their ego get in the way of listening to somebody that might have a better or different perspective than theirs. I would just really encourage you, if you're thinking about working with Clay, I mean, the thing is, it's month to month. Go give it a try and see what happens. I think in the 35-year history of Shaw Homes, this is probably the best thing that's happened to us. And I know if you give them a shot, I think you'll feel the same way. I know for me, the thing I would have missed out on if I didn't work with Clay is I would have missed out on literally an 1,800% increase in our internet leads. Going from 10 a month to 180 a month, that would have been a huge financial decision to just decide not to give it a shot. I would absolutely recommend Clay Clark to anybody who's thinking about working with somebody in marketing. I would skip over anybody else you were thinking about, and I would go straight to Clay and his team. I guarantee you're not going to regret it because we sure haven't.
My name is Danielle Sprick, and I am the founder of D. Sprick Realty Group here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. After being a stay-at-home mom for 12 years and my 3 kids started school and they were in school full-time, I was at a crossroads and trying to decide what do I want to do? My degree and my background is in education, but after being a mom and staying home and all of that, I just didn't have a passion for it like I once did. My husband suggested real estate. He's a home builder, so real estate and home building go hand in hand, and we just rolled with it. I love people. I love working with people. I love building relationships. But one thing that was really difficult for me was the business side of things, the processes and the advertising and marketing. I knew that I did not have what I needed to make that what it should be. So I reached out to Clay at that time, and he and his team have been extremely instrumental in helping us build our brand, help market our business, our agents, the homes that we represent. Everything that we do is a direct line from Clay and his team and all that they've done for us. We launched our brokerage, our real estate brokerage, 8 months ago. And in that time, we've gone from myself and one other agent to just this week, we signed on our 16th agent. We have been blessed with the fact that we right now have just over 10 million in pending transactions. 3 years ago, I never would have even imagined that I would be in this role that I'm in today, building a business, having 16 agents. But I have to give credit where credit's due. And Clay and his team and the business coaching that they've offered us has been huge. It's been instrumental in what we're doing. Don't ever limit your vision. When you dream big, big things happen.
I started a business because I couldn't work for anyone else. I do things my way. I do what I think is in the best interest of the patient. I don't answer to insurance companies. I don't answer to large corporate organizations. I answer to my patient, and that's it. My thought when I opened my clinic was I can do this all myself. I don't need additional outside help in many ways. I went to medical school. I can figure this out. But it was a very, very steep learning curve. Within the first 6 months of opening my clinic, I had a $63,000 embezzlement. I lost multiple employees. Clay helped us weather the storm of some of the things that are just a lot of people experience, especially in the medical world. He was instrumental in helping with the specific written business plan. He's been instrumental in hiring good quality employees, using the processes that he outlines for getting in good talent, which is extremely difficult. He helped me in securing the business loans. He helped me with web development and search engine optimization. We've been able to really keep a steady stream of clients coming in because they found us on the web. With everything that I encountered, everything that I experienced, I quickly learned it is worth every penny to have someone in your team that can walk you through and even avoid some of the pitfalls that are almost invariable in starting your own business. I'm Dr. Chad Edwards, and I own Revolution Health and Wellness Clinic.
The Thrivetime Show, 2-day interactive business workshops, are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet. You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot-coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look him up.
and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.